So I was fucking with the live stream last night. Like, it reminded me how much I like doing live streams. So I'm gonna live stream more often. And I don't know how to get the fucking live stream in my playlist. I was trying to make a playlist of like all the live streams so then people can just go to my channel, click on the live stream playlist and watch all my live streams. But YouTube's not like, I don't know. I'll figure it out after this one. And like I said before in the last live stream, if I ramble, that's just me. I tend to ramble a lot. So unless people direct me with comments or questions or this, I might just end up rambling about a bunch of nonsense. I got my bowl packed, bong packed, weed, shatter, and a little more weed on top. But now I need the lighter. I don't know where the fuck the lighter went. Oh, hold on, guys. Gotta get a lighter. There it is. It's been a long time, right? It's been a long time since I've been on really YouTube in a while. Appreciate y'all being in here with me. If you guys smoke, get your bong, bowl, joint, blunt, whatever ready to be sparked, and let's smoke. Because this is my first hit of the day. So, yeah, cheers. Damn, that shatter be getting me every fucking time. Damn. Ooh. First hit of the day, and that shit was a punch in the face. I appreciate that. I hope everyone out there is doing good with this quarantine thing, you know. Because for me, let me back. I'll take an emoji cup of water. I should be unhealthy. I'm just drinking soda. But, oh man, that shit happened. So, I just hope everybody out there is doing good. You know, I've been like I said last night in the live stream, my life for years now has been a bunch of ups and downs, and it's just like a constant up down. It's like a roller coaster. But I'm just learning how to ride the wave, right? I feel like that's what we need to do. We need to learn how to just accept what is happening instead of always trying to control what happens to us, right? Because I think a lot of times, for me in my life, men do it when they have a beautiful girlfriend or a beautiful wife, right? A lot of men try to control. Maybe their wife wants to go out, you know, with their girls, or maybe this or that. But men do it too to women. I mean, men want to go hang out with their boys, with their homies, and it irritates the girl because we all just want to control. It's so crazy that like you fall in love and you say, "Oh, I'm so in love, I just want to control you," or I love my life because I'm in full control of my life. I battle with this philosophy in my head all the time because half of me is like, yeah, I want to be in full control of my life. I want to like that's why I want to own my own business and not work for someone else's business because I want to tell myself when I need to work. I want to I don't have to wait. And I don't like that shit. I don't like I don't like being like, okay, I want to go take a piss. So, but I can't because there's customers at the front line. So it's like, I don't know, just little things, right? We always want to be in control of everything. And like, I feel like control is human nature. The thing that's been happening. This is the quote. Love is about appreciate, not possession. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But love is a complicated thing. Love is the most complicated thing ever because um, you just want to be around the person you love all the time. But like, you can't. And it's like when you have love, when you're around the person you love, you feel amazing. But when you're not, it's like there's something missing. And you can break it down to, chemistry. But it's interesting though. I think it's in our nature to possess. Like we want to possess things. Humans are so materialistic. People want the new iPhone. You want this dope ass car. You want a dope ass house. You want a brand new bong, even though you have 23 of them. Like shit like that. We all want more and more. And I think the key to like generally just for me in my life, right, I've been trying to learn how to get rid of this. I've been learning how, and I still deal with this in my life as a problem because me is me, I still want things. But I'm just learning to just go with the flow more. Instead of saying, no, I need it this way. It's like, no, just let it happen. As uncomfortable as whatever as a situation can be for you, if you just learn to let it happen, be the observer of the situation instead of the thing that's going through the situation. Because I look at it as, you know, love feels good, but love can hurt. Life is good, but life is bad. This is up and down, left and right, yin and yang. This is just what it is. And I don't know, lately in my life, I've been kind of forced to look at this in a real life situation. I've heard all these philosophies for a long time. I've heard people talk about these philosophies, but for me, I'm being like forced to look at these philosophies and actually try to apply them. Because if not, my consciousness right now would be miserable. Like right now, my consciousness has the potential because the life situations I'm going through to be miserable. But yet I'm refused to do that. My consciousness has the ability to give up and say, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this. And I kind of did for a while. That's why I haven't made videos. I haven't really uploaded. I haven't been in the mood. My mind just hasn't been there. Too much is going on around me that's kind of fogging up some shit. And it's all me. Like it's me that's doing it to me. So it's like I'm just trying to learn how to just go with the flow more. So that's why I got a job. Like while everyone else lost their job during the quarantine, I got a job during it because I had an LSA trip that kind of like punched me in the face and showed me you want this, then do this. And this is what kind of showed me that like we always want something. We always want to possess something, but why? I guess it's in our nature. But we have to learn how to control ourselves. We have to be the yin and the yang. We have to be the balance. And that's what Buddha talked about, a lot of Buddhism and even Hinduism, Buddhism is all about walking the middle path and, just trying to balance yourself. So I'm just trying to flow with the river, right? Wherever the world takes me is wherever the world takes me. Whatever happens, good or bad, in a sense was meant to happen, especially the things that are out of my control. The things that are in my control, obviously, it's my choice what I do every day. It's my, I feel like, thing that's been helping. Yeah, working a 9 to 5 job. So I was because that's not a 9 to 5, right? I technically not working 9 to 5, but like I work all different hours. But this job thing, I feel like as soon as I knew I had to get a job, my mood started being affected. Like that's why I was kind of forced to face just flowing with the river. Because about 2 or 3 weeks ago, um, maybe even a month ago now, I was forced to face the fact that I don't have money for weed. I don't have money for this. Important holidays are coming up, and I don't have money for this. I don't have money for the internet at my house. I didn't have my bills were almost not going to get paid. Shit like that. It got bad. So then I was forced. I had a psychedelic experience, and then I was forced to look at things I didn't really want to look at. And now I can see I have to be a man. It's so fucking weird because I'm 26 years old. But like now it's like right now in my life, I have my own apartment. Like it's in my name. I have a job. And I'm like self-sustained right now. And to me that's dope. I'm starting to save money for the first time in my life ever. So like going with the flow more is kind of just starting to loosen life up a little bit. Life felt like it was like just pushing me down with so much pressure. But now shit feels like it's loosening up and I'm just starting to live again. Mind's starting to flow again. Ideas are starting to come back. Yeah. It's actually the first time I've ever felt that feeling. But in a sense, in my mind's always like since like I was like 19, 20, I've always thought thoughts create reality. This is what it is. And we just, you know, we just have to put the action behind the thoughts. And that's the thing I lack a lot of times. A lot of people don't want to look in the mirror, including myself, where it's like look in the mirror and seeing like the problem is me. It's the way I think. Like so much negative shit has happened to me, but so much positive shit has happened to me. And what I think about today is my choice. So that's why I'm just trying to face the fact that if I think about different things, I'll get a different reaction and a different feeling in myself. Um, if I do different things, if I get back to making music because I love making music, if I get back to making videos because I love making videos, if I get back to doing the things I love, then I'll just feel more love. If I do the things that make me happy, I'll feel more happy. You know, it's like my experiences with psychedelics just sometimes slap me in the face and they punch me in the face with common sense information that I already know. But yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna hit this bong again. And I probably shouldn't because I'm really high. This is the first week I've had wax in a long time. But that's because this is the first time I've had a job in a long time. And then now that I have some money saved, I'm gonna start saving more, start my business back up. My friend wants to start a CBD business, so I'm gonna do that. But like, man, oh shit. Ooh. man. So I have not heard Trying to Smoke, but I'm about to listen to that shit right now. I love Jhené Aiko's music. I have since like 2015. It's good vibing music. Like I like vibing music. I like music where you can feel to it. You can vibe to it. I'm not a big fan of modern day rap at all. Besides just a couple artists. But when it comes to music, it's more like just vibing. Anything I can vibe to. If I can listen to it while I'm tripping, then it's probably what I will listen to. But weirdly, there's some dope rap songs that I like to listen to while I'm tripping. Right. See, I want to listen to this song, but YouTube, before I did this live stream, YouTube showed this thing saying because of the COVID-19 that there's less real people in checking videos. So videos that might not violate the guidelines can still be deleted. That shit's crazy. But I'm gonna do it anyways. So, anybody got any questions or anything? Because if not, I don't know. I just feel like I'll just ramble. Because I got so many things that I could talk about. Because so much shit has gone on. So many things I've learned. Like I haven't made a video in like a month, and right now I have like 3 videos that I need to upload. But realistically, just even when I don't make videos, my mind is still going. And it's like the reason why I make videos is because I feel like my mind works weird when I just want to I don't know. Let me try to find this. Phone was dead. Fuck it. So, ever since the virus, honestly, I don't think I've had a memorable dream since the virus. But I think that's because I like to smoke a lot of weed before bed, and weed can interrupt short-term memory. So maybe it's that I'm still dreaming, but I just don't remember the dreams. But it's like for me, when I sleep, it's usually like I go to sleep, it's black, infinite nothingness, and then all of a sudden I wake up. Like, I don't know, it's weird. And when I do dream, now I have interesting dreams. I did have an end of the world dream not too long ago. Well, it was like 9 months ago. 9 months ago, I had an end of the world dream where it was like, I don't know, something was. It was just a weird end of the world, but it was mixed with like some sci-fi type shit. My dreams are interesting while I'm like traveling space, and but before that, when I was 25 years old, is the first time I started having good dreams and normal dreams. From the time I was 5 years old up until I was 25 years old, I had nightmares almost every night. Um, it just I had went through something a little traumatic when I was younger, and it just caused me to have nightmares. And I went to therapy for anger when I was 5, and I just had nightmares all the time until 25 years old. My friend Twiz told me, bro, he was like, you can get rid of your nightmares by getting rid of your fear. He said, when you go to bed at night, he said, I bet, he was just explaining that I'm scared when I go to bed at night. And because I'm scared when I go to bed at night, because I'm scared I'm going to have a nightmare, my fear is manifesting into a nightmare. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I basically, just got rid of my nightmares that way. And ever since then, I've been just having normal dreams. I've had lucid dreams. I've had, I had a lucid dream. Someone, any advice? This is my first time trying any of that. Yeah, I got a lot of experience with Hawaiian baby woodrose seeds. The only thing I would say, so if you only have experience with bud and blue lotus, blue lotus is an amazing herb. One of my favorite. I can't wait to get more. It's been a long time, but I would suggest that you would see, for me, right? For me, what I would do is I would take, with any psychedelic, what I've done, with any plant or herb, I've taken low doses and worked my way up, because why not? So if you're gonna, for me, so if I was going to start off with anything, I start off with the lowest dose possible. So like anywhere, I would start off with 2 to 3 seeds. And then go up from there. In my last live stream, I explained how I make my Hawaiian baby woodrose seed cold water extraction. But I think that, it's just take it slow, because some people like to just dive deep and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. So just work your way up. It's a little, the worst case scenario is it causes nausea and vomiting, and it can make you feel uncomfortable for the first hour, so like, but to me, it's one of my favorite psychedelics, because I don't mind that because of the spiritual effects I get from it after that hour is up. And even though the sick, uncomfortable feeling I have in my stomach for that hour, in a sense, you can look at that as a spiritual effect of the plant, where it's something, it can knock you on your ass. But also you got Cash App. Yeah. Right now, so I was gonna do Patreon, But I was like, I don't know if I could really do exclusive content as well as other content. And I had the idea of doing Patreon and putting my documentaries on Patreon. But I like the idea of just getting my documentaries out there for free. I just like to express myself, and but I do accept donations and through Cash App right now. But I also am working on trying to find a better platform for it, something like Patreon, but not like Patreon. I don't know, but oh damn, appreciate that though. That bong hit killed me, but my dad was into radio for for a long time. He was a guy on the radio, and eventually I was thinking about trying to do the same thing, trying to have like a maybe like a psychedelic online radio station or something. But yeah, I have a lot of ideas. Problem is, it's hard to get these ideas out, but it's just one step at a time type shit, and it's annoying, but it is what it is. Feel free to ask any question. Like, yeah. See, that's my problem too. I have million, like my mind just turns so many ideas, but how do I implicate those ideas into the real world? How do I manifest that into existence? And that's why I was thinking like a little bit at a time, step by step. Just a little bit at a time, because like I started thinking, okay, that's why I got a job. Because I started thinking, how do I restart my business? I have no money. I can't get a loan. And yeah, so I said, okay, I'll get a job, save like a decent chunk of that every week until I have enough to start the business. Yeah, and it was like step by step. So right now I'm just in the middle of trying to get to step to step. Okay. um okay, so oneness is an interesting thing, because I would explain so it's hard if somebody's never done psychedelics before, but I would explain oneness like this. Oneness is when you start to lose sense of self. So right now we feel ourself. We think we are this being that I'm in, this voice that is speaking. But the voice in so I'll just try to explain it with experiences. One DMT experience, I smoked DMT and I became a water bubble inside of some ocean. Probably, I think it was like the Atlantic, or it was just some ocean on planet Earth. And I just started coming up from the bottom and went to the top. And when I went to the top, I became every single oxygen molecule on this planet. Like I could feel everything and everyone that was breathing oxygen because every like right now I just breathed oxygen. Oxygen went inside of me. And it was like all the oxygen was one consciousness, and that one consciousness was me at that moment in time. And there's multiple experiences like that that I've had that are like where even just on LSD, on LSD, you can like I've drank a cup of soda and you start to feel one with the soda, like there is no separation. You start to feel like there is no separation from you and the air, you and the people around you. You understand that you start to, it's deeper than an understanding because, like, when somebody tells you information, you get that information and you do with it what you please based on what you have experienced in your own life. So, with the oneness, it's not about anything based on your experience, but it's based on the experience you're going through at the time, which is you can feel it. You're no longer feeling you here. You can feel you everywhere. It's like a connection thing. Like love, like you know how like you're in love with somebody, but you can feel it. But you couldn't really explain, like it's hard to explain love. It's one of those things where it's like you just feel it because you can feel there's no separation. You start to blend in to everything. You can become everything. And now there's multiple forms of oneness, but it's all everyone who says oneness, they all mean that feeling, that oneness feeling, that connection, but there's multiple different forms of oneness. And I guess oneness is on like a spectrum where it's like oneness can be looked at like you're just feeling connected to drinking a cup of water and you feel like you are the water. You could be in a chair and feel like you have become one with the chair, like you are the chair. It's hard to explain. But there's also forms of oneness that I've had on DMT that are like when I am no longer me anymore, I'm no longer this physical being. I am no longer any physical being. There are times in DMT space where I've become all time, all the universe, all the atoms in the universe from this third dimension we're in now to all the higher dimensions, that exist in reality. It was just there's moments where in DMT space you can become Godhead in that way, and that's the full oneness when you were one with all of space and time, with the here and now, the yesterday and the tomorrow, but of all of existence. When you're every planet, every star, every human, every alien, every dead person, every dead alien, but dead doesn't exist because you understand when you're in those levels, you understand that there's this connection to everything because it's all streaming down from this one thing, that we are all this one thing. So that's why we all can tap into this oneness, but we're just tapping into it. But what it actually is, it's like the internet for the human beings. It's like the Akasha records. It's like that we can tap into this thing that we actually are, and we're all connected to it, but we just don't understand that we are it. It's like the computer thinking that it's the internet. The oneness can be described like we are the internet, but right now we're stuck in individual computers. We're all in individual bodies. And we think that we are these individual bodies, but realistically, we are the internet inside that's running through this body right now. We are not the body itself. The internet is allowing me to live stream this video. So it's like the internet is what is doing this more than the computer. Like the computer can think it's the internet, but it's not. It's just a vessel that allows the internet to come into the third dimension. And that's kind of what we are. We are just a quantum computer, basically, put on this planet here to help consciousness, which is the thing in our head that thinks, or the thing that our head that observes our thoughts. Consciousness is a higher dimensional thing that exists only because it is inside of a body that is a third dimensional thing. Same thing with the computer. Um, I guess that's the best analogy that I can come up with trying to explain the oneness. But yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. When you like touch things or feel like you can feel one with, yeah. Um, I guess I do kind of use crystals, but not really. In stones. So I just have at my house. I have a salt rock. I have uh, and a couple stones that are valuable to me, not because of energy. Now I don't know if I necessarily 100% believe in like crystal magic per se, but I would say that I believe that because these items are sentimental to me, that's why I keep them, right? And they do, and sometimes I do carry this one crystal. Sometimes, like if I'm tripping, I'll put it in my pocket and I'll go on a trip, and I'll but just little things like that. But one of them was from my first LSD experience. The other one I got on my second LSD experience, and just rocks I picked up down by the river when we were deep down. Um, and then another rock I got has crystals embedded into it, and that was given to me by a close friend of mine. So I have that, and yeah. Have you ever used? Uh, I don't even know what that is for my dreams. I don't know what that is. The only thing I've done for my dreams is um if I want to dream, because I smoke right before bed, so it's hard for me to dream. If when I want to dream, I usually just lay on my back, like straight, hands on my side like this, and then just attempt to go to sleep. And when I do that, it's easier for me to go into a dream state, and it's also easier for me to um, go into a lucid dream state. Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting because I used to have African Dreamer. I just never tried it. But I guess that was because I had this negative outlook on dreaming, so I just never decided to try uh, African Dreamer or any dream type herb. So I just like stuck to like more psychedelic visions or visuals behind my eyes. So can you see energy? That's one of my gifts. I can see energy. Like if I stare at a person. For me, that happened. The way you explained that, you said, I stare at a person or I stare at a blank wall. I can just see particles moving, and I think like psychedelics could enhance that maybe. The psychedelics caused that for me. That's called in the psychedelic world. That's basically called HPPD, which is in a sense what everyone's scared of. Everyone's scared of when it comes to psychedelics. Everyone's scared of permatripping. Um, but it's not like you're gonna permatrip unless you had like predisposed problems with like schizophrenia or some mental health issues. Um, but that I had HPPD at one point, so it's like for me, I would just yeah. It's not a good thing necessarily. It is, but it isn't. An open third eye can be dangerous because an open third eye is hard to close, and it's just like the third eye can be open, but if it's wide the fuck open, then because I think there's a reason why these things have naturally gone out of our system naturally, where we still have the receptors for the drugs, but we don't produce the drugs. Alexander Shulgin was talking about that. He was talking about how maybe at one point we had the drugs in our system, where we had the drugs in our body, but maybe back then, like seeing a saber-toothed tiger, and then you see that the saber-toothed tiger has colors and things in it that the human beings that produce the natural psychedelic drugs in their body um, ended up dying and were removed from the gene pool. And Alexander Shulgin was explaining how they were if they were removed from the gene pool, then that's why we still have the receptors, because the receptors were not the problem, but the problem was that basically the psychedelics. So that's why we still have these receptors. But there's a lot of yogis that have reached what they would call you know this higher state. The kundalini energy is real, and a lot of people misunderstand kundalini because the kundalini technically is a kundalini psychosis. What it is the kundalini is when everything's aligned in your higher chakra, you can travel and you're in a higher awareness. And I just think that it's a dope awareness, but there's very few that, just like there's very few yogis, there's very few that should be on a higher awareness like that, because if they're ready for it, they're ready for it. If they're not, they're not. um you know states like this contain energy. You don't know the healing purposes of mental stones. Now I do agree that you know you can put your consciousness's energy into a crystal so much easier because of its crystalline state because of its geometry. It's able to hold information. So information is, for healing. A lot of people use these things for healing purposes. I genuinely have crystals that I use just when I like to have them around when I'm tripping. I feel like it just ups the vibe a little bit. Um, but I also have a rain stick that means a lot to me that I shake around sometimes when I'm just in a shamanic state. And there's this energy to this rain stick because I've had it since I was like 8 years old. Had no usage for it until I started using, psychedelics in a shamanic way. But it's just interesting. It's interesting how there's multiple different aspects of the same thing, right? Because the Ayurvedic states, the shamanic states, uh, just typical Buddhism meditation, typical, uh, like a lot of these things, right? We're all touching upon the same thing, which is that we're tapping into our energy and the higher energy and manifesting it through us into this reality. To some people use it to heal, some people use it to manifest reality into a good thing, a bad thing. A lot of people believe that not to go all conspiracy theory here, but a lot of people think um that the elite got this knowledge a long time ago, that there's a way to channel energy and manifest reality with information is the key. And learning this certain information that has been hidden for a long time is the reason why some people are in charge now. I just think that everybody has a piece of the knowledge, um, but I think also everybody just has a piece, and we're only using a piece of it because we don't know what it is. Why is it that if people have multiple, like, you can watch videos, of people who have healed. There's that one video that is undeniable. The Chinese video where these people were chanting a mantra and they shrunk a tumor live. Like, they shrunk a tumor based on, their energy. And things like this, can be based on reality. But right now, so many describe it as magic, but it's only magic because it's not understood yet. But magic is just an undiscovered science. And eventually, quantum physics or uh, quantum mechanics, somebody is going to eventually start to understand that we are part of a higher thing, that these things are there but not seen. Like air, we can breathe, but we don't see it. It's just there. This shit got me high as fuck. Ooh, I'm still gonna take another hit though. So, if you guys smoke, get your bong, your joint, your blunt, your whatever. Hit that shit. Do you think as we evolve spiritually, we will begin to see the unseen? Yes. I think that it's taking time. Um, but I do think the more the world quote unquote wakes up, because these terms have become so like, you know, but it's true though that the more the world wakes up, the more people start to understand what's really going on, then we will eventually be able to live on a much higher aspect. And I think we don't understand how close this thing is. So right now, I don't know how old everybody is in this, but I can imagine that we're probably almost everybody in here is probably millennials, at least, or the next generation after, or the next generation before. But within those three generations, let's say three more generations, things will be completely different. So it's like, I don't know what three more generations, so not, what would that be? So my kid has a kid that's my grandchild. My great grandchild, either my great grandchild or my great great grandchild, they're going to be living in a world that's insane technologically. Now, I think that there's a reason why psychedelics are making a comeback, because I think to live in an extremely extremely technological world, I think it's going to require uh, a complete understanding of reality from all different aspects, including understanding that drugs are not just drugs, that some drugs are gateways to other realities, that molecules, that we are drugs, that there is no separation, that there's information that we don't understand. Like we just label things, and sometimes when you label something, you put it in a box, and when it's labeled and it cannot get out the locked cage, we have to find the key to get it out. So I feel like with a lot of this information, the problem is that it's out there, but a lot of the people that have it are judged as crazy as fuck right now in this generation. But the crazy thing is the man that invented, um, wireless communication. So like, like how a walkie-talkie, you could talk to somebody and there was no wires connected to it. The man that invented that ended up getting locked up, and put in the psych ward. His family put him in the psych ward because he was telling his family that he's going to create a machine that can send your voice through the air into another box in your hand, in someone else's hand across the street, and they'll be able to hear my voice. His family put him in the psych ward for that. He still worked on his idea in the psych ward. By the time he came out, he made the thing happen, and the crazy guy ended up looking not so crazy anymore. He changed reality. The thing is, I mean, even Nikola Tesla, Nikola Tesla never, I think his thing is he's never had a girlfriend or something like that. He completely went into this. But I think that so much information needs to be accessible to everybody on the planet. And it's so hard to get an extreme amount of information into a human being if they don't want that, especially if they don't want the information. How many people, if you asked on the street, well, there is nobody on the streets anymore, really. But like, genuinely, how many people, if you asked on a live stream, but how many people would genuinely want to know about other dimensions? How many people want to know about psychedelics? How many people want to know about the future of humanity and technology and quantum physics and quantum mechanics and spirituality and how it's all connected? And there's so much information that everybody that acquires all this information starts to look crazy, become crazy, or because information can drive you crazy. And I'll name two names that I feel like are controversial, but people might say whatever, but Alex Jones and David Icke. I think they both have more of the truth than most human beings. I think they have a lot of things that are wrong, but when you're searching for what is actually going on in reality, you are going to come across theories that seem accurate as fuck, but then you find out maybe 10 years later that you were wrong. And you have to be okay to say you were wrong, because how many scientists dedicated their entire life to one thing and were successful scientists, then retire, and then a new scientist comes and proves that that previous scientist was wrong the whole time. That's happened so many times. So that's just how we are. That's just what we do. We have to get, the closer we get to the truth. See, science is searching for the truth in one way. Religion already claims they know the truth. And that's, I feel like, my only problem with religion is they feel like they already know it all. They don't want to change what they believe. They don't want to evolve their theories or ideas based on new discoveries in science and quantum mechanics and reality. They just want to accept what they know from hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. They just want to accept that. So for me, I think that the best way to get to what humans are actually going through is just to go through it. We're gonna end up I do, as controversial as this is to say, and I'm not trying to make anybody mad, but I just genuinely believe that technology, quantum mechanics, quantum physics, psychedelics eventually might make religion obsolete. Or force religion to evolve their beliefs. Because the anointment oil, had a bunch of drug oils in it, realistically. Like, it had cannabis in it, and frankincense, and myrrh, and cinnamon, and cassia, and and THC can absorb through the skin, especially on an oil, if you have enough of it. So I just think that we don't realize how much drugs have affected our reality and how much they're really not drugs, because it's our connection to information. It's how humans used to get information. Now we get information from the schools, we get information from Facebook, YouTube, we get information from the media, and that's it. Most people don't get information from a different aspect, right? Which a different aspect could be using psychedelics to gain informations and gain new insights on your life and yourself. It could also be starting to meditate, to do the same thing, to gain new insights on yourself and the life that you live in your reality around you. It could be going on a journey. It could be, leaving your house and literally going on a journey, going to a monastery, and go to India, go to Peru. Now, you can't do this now, obviously, with this travel ban, but I guess the best thing you can do is, you can educate yourself, you can do this, you can do that, you can accomplish your dreams, you can work out, you can, but I just think the more that we get towards technology, ayahuasca use, mushrooms being legal, all of this, our society will change, because the society is based on the drugs that it allows us to use, but also the drugs it allows us not to use. Terence McKenna. Terence McKenna said that. And it's yeah. Yeah. But I'm going to go because I got a bunch of shit to do today. But I just wanted to come in here, smoke with y'all, vibe with y'all, talk to y'all and just see how y'all are doing. So, hope everybody's doing great. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.